Hey guys, today we're giving our review on the Thunderbolts.
The new Avengers.
Let's get into it.
What is up, you beautiful and sexy nerds? Welcome back to Till the End Online Podcast. I'm your boy Juan G here with
T.
That's right. And today we are going to be talking about. Should we just call it the new Avengers? Do we really?
That's what they did now. They branded it as that.
They technically changed the title, so
yeah
we're going to be talking about the Thunderbolts / the new Avengers. But before we get into that, let's get into some nerd news. All right, so first up, we have the Star Wars projects coming up for 2026. Well, actually, they announced 8 new projects coming out at the Japan Star Wars convention or con, something like Fan Expo, something like that. The first project is the Mandalorian Grogu movie, which is coming out May 22nd, 2026. Darth Maul Shadow Lord animated series, which we are very excited about.
Absolutely.
A Star Wars Starfighter movie, which is coming out May 28th, 2027. And that's releasing on the 50th anniversary of A New Hope. And it's going to be starring Ryan Gosling and directed by Sean Levy.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one too. And then this one's going to be a standalone adventure that takes place a few years after Rise of Skywalker. So it's going to be the next film in the timeline.
Yeah.
Like in the sequential timeline. And then we also have 3 more unnamed movies. Each one is going to be directed by a different director. One is going to be directed by James Mangold, who directed Logan and the Wolverine. Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, I believe that's how you pronounce that. May be titled The New Jedi Order. That's not official yet, but it is going to be the next film with Rey Skywalker being the lead.
Yeah.
And then Taika Waititi's will be directing the third one. And as you all know, he directed Thor Ragnarok and Thor Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
As well as, what's the Jojo Rabbit he directed?
Oh, yeah.
And, many other films.
Yeah.
The next bit of news, Kevin Feige is reportedly leading a creative overhaul aimed at getting Marvel Studios back on track, according to the Wall Street Journal.
And I think that ties into that article that I sent you recently. So they're going to release 7 projects a year.
Yes.
And we know in the past, well, not in the past, but not too long ago, they restructured Marvel Studios, Marvel Animation, and Marvel Television. And it works. It coincides perfectly with that because they're going to do 3 movies and 2
series,
2 series and 2 animated series.
Yes.
So it pans out, and everything's like separated into their own departments. Like everyone gets to focus on that. And Kevin, because I know they were saying that Kevin was at one point like really hard to track down because so much was happening at once.
Yeah.
And I think now it's like funneled and streamlined to where certain people are reporting to Kevin, and he can make time for those projects that actually come out correctly.
That's also why some of the quality of certain series wasn't up to par of the Marvel standard, and which is why a lot of fans were like,
the writer's strike and the actor's strike all had a huge thing to do with that.
Yeah.
We were just watching Final Destination.
The new one?
Yeah, Bloodlines.
Nice.
Pretty decent. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's not like it felt like the first one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it was a good one.
Yeah.
It's not. It's still that stupid. Like it's still a lot of like unnecessary deaths. You know what I mean? But it's not.
That is that movie shtick, though. It's like, what crazy way can we kill somebody now?
Yeah. But I think it was better than some of the other ones, more recent ones that we've gotten.
Nice.
And it ties in all the other movies. But besides the point.
Oh shit! Nerd with the yawns is here.
I've been yawning the whole time I've been here, and now the camera's on. Yeah, I'm like yawning.
I guess that's what it is.
But so like all these different previews are coming out, and Sandy's like, man, there's a lot of movies. I'm like, yeah, like 2026, 2027, 2028 are going to be like really good years for movies. 2025 is a good year for movies too. I'm like, but we're leading into, a lot of them. She's like, why are all these good movies coming out? I was like, well, I think that the actors strike, the writers strike, COVID, all this like negative like roadblocks that we ran into in the film industry have really like hindered a lot of movies coming. I mean, we're just barely getting Ironheart, and it's been done for a few years now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So a lot of things are finally back to normal, and
that's a good point. I never looked at it that way. That now that the writers are, well, ever since the writer's strike ended and the actor strike, now since that ended, they've been writing, and now we're getting those films into production and going to be coming out this year and next year, and also the following year. Yeah,
and everything's
really good point.
on a good track to kind of nothing's really going to halt it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
some crazy lawsuit or something like that happens.
Exactly.
Someone, you know, but like even with that, like I think Marvel's in a good spot. DC's in a good spot. Star Wars is in a good spot. Like all these different franchises are in good positions to just kind of keep rolling with it, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, I think it's that momentum that they lost, they finally built it. And, you know, with the restructuring that Marvel's done, the restructuring and the, you know, the promising future for the DCU, I think we're going to be in store for some really, really good movies.
Yeah, no, I was telling you before too. I was happy to hear this news, and also because I think the MCU got a little bit excited that with the streaming platform and just wanted to give us a bunch of content at once, and that was a mistake in retrospect. And they also didn't have the right blueprint to do that. Yeah, like they are going to have now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now they can focus on quality and not quantity. And with this new overhaul with that platform that they're going to be doing with, you know, 322, I think, and like as you said, now that we have different departments,
but it also says
television studio,
to. So it might just be one show, one animated show, one regular series, and two movies. It doesn't have to be,
but having that cap helps.
Of up to 7, it does help for sure. Which gives them, you know, I mean, if that 7 properties are going to drop, you know, if you split it up into the business year, you know, what is it? Drop, you know, 3 in the summer, you know, and Q.
I think 3 in the summer would be too crowded.
Well, 3 properties.
Oh, you didn't know 3 movies. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you think about it, like almost every other month, something can be coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And in January or in February, sorry, not February. I'm just saying the months.
Yeah.
In July, they can drop like 2 things. You know what I mean? But then every other month, like January, then March, then May, you know,
or every season drop 2 a season or something like that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, like
2 to 3.
And they can drop it by the physical year. And like everyone knows, like the movies that come out in July are always like the big
blockbusters. Yeah.
So like that's what they would put their big ones, similar to how they're doing with Fantastic Four this year, and you know Superman coming out. So I think they have, it's a good structure to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we're gonna start seeing more franchises copy that. You know what I mean?
I think more Star universe Wars, properties, like Star Wars, I
think Star Wars should definitely adapt that for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I would love some
DC
more
too.
Animated.
I want Gunn to jump on that.
Yeah, I'm sure Gunn will. He's just getting his feet wet right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I think, I think that I'm not worried too much about that. I think he's gonna do fine.
You know what? Let's do this. Comment, anybody that comments the correct amount of yawns this guy gets an episode, we'll send out a gift for you guys.
Or give me some reason or ways to not yawn. Like I don't understand why I start yawning.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, I'm tired at a long work day, but like I don't understand.
I think it's because you're not active. You're used to being moving around and active, and then once your body settles, you just get relaxed.
That's fair.
So all right. So next bit of news, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Oh, actually, I skipped something. Also, according to the Wall Street Journal, Feige has a 10-year plan for the X-Men and the MCU. Fuck yes. I'm excited about that. I know you're probably more excited about that.
Yeah.
Just because X-Men are your mutants, I should say, are your jam.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've always loved mutants, but I think your love for them is on the next level. Yeah. But yeah, so we're definitely excited about that.
How do you say the director's name for the last name? Jake what?
Levy? Wait, Jake. Wait, who?
Or Jack, sorry, Jack, the director of Thunderbolts.
Oh,
Jack,
where's his name?
Schaefer?
Oh, Schaefer.
Is it Schaefer?
Yeah.
Where's the...
It's Scheifer, right?
There's no F.
What's the name? No, hold on, I didn't see that. Oh. Schreier.
I thought it was Schaefer.
I thought there was an F in there. Did they
Right?
misspell it? Oh no, I guess we were like reading it wrong.
Yeah, like it threw me off.
It's
Like
Schreier then. Schreier? Something like
I
that.
don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
he is eyed to be filming the first X-Men.
X-Men film. Yeah, that's right. I heard that on our buddy Filmatics
and
podcast.
I am excited
Our buddies
for that.
over there.
We'll get into the review in a bit, but like the reason why I'm excited for it is because X-Men covers a lot of emotions, a lot of discrimination, racism, because they're mutants, and just
Sexism,
sexism, all of it, all of the problems you can think of. The X-Men go through it, and that was Stan Lee's baby of showing how comics can impact the political world, and just even X-Men 97, just the whole that scene with Magneto, and he has that whole council floating in the air, like
not only that, but the mutants also are a way to represent the LGBTQ plus community, and give them a
every
voice.
minority
Also.
is represented in the X-Men,
absolutely,
and in the X-Men or mutants, period.
And I think that's why we love it so much, is that it represents so many
every
parts of the culture.
Minority, exactly. So, and I think he did a really good job of explaining these folks' emotions in this movie. And I think he would do a really good live action adaptation of whatever X-Men script that they put together. And if it's him doing it, I'm excited for it.
Same, because I mean the writers really knew how to write these characters, but he really knew how to showcase them through that writing, and as far as like a way to film them and shoot them, and ways that it would make sense for us to relate. So I totally agree. Next bit of news: according to the Hollywood Reporter, Ryan Reynolds is currently writing a Deadpool and X-Men team-up movie. This movie would include 3 to 4 X-Men members, while Deadpool would be a supporting character. And I'm loving that. The Film Addicts, again, they talked about this on one of their last 2 episodes. I believe it was their Tomorrowland episode. They were talking about this bit of news, and Addie and I were having a conversation that's the best way to have Deadpool in the MCU next, because him solo, it'd be funny for like the first 20 minutes, but after that you just realize how much of an asshole he is. But the best way to display Deadpool is him bouncing off of other characters. So that's why in those 3 films he wasn't just a solo character. It was, the first one was with Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and then the second one, Cable and Domino and X-Force, were him bouncing off of them, and the third one was
even though it's called a Deadpool movie, it very much so was just a mutant movie. Yeah,
for sure. And it has to be, because like we said, him by himself, it's funny for a little while, but then you just are noticing like, damn, this guy's just a dick. You know what I mean? Like,
all right, guys, you just wait. That's exactly what I mean. This is a perfect example of why I don't think a Gambit movie works. A standalone Gambit movie.
Okay.
It's the same concept. Like it has to be a mutant movie. And if they approach it the way they did Deadpool, then a Gambit movie could work. You know what I mean? But I just don't think the market's there for it. Yeah. But I think you understand I think you explained it, and that's the point I was trying to make with Gambit.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Like Deadpool, like you said, he's an asshole. This guy's a lover boy and this little gambler, and okay, now we're over it. You know what I mean?
Got you.
That's the best way to explain.
Yeah, whenever I was batting for a standalone Gambit movie, I never meant for him to be the only X-Men or mutant character in that movie. I just meant him to be the center focus of it. Yeah. So absolutely have other mutants, but not them be in the entire movie with him, just for like most of the movie or like some stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, go back and watch our What If Gambit episode, and you'll be
we had fun with that with Film.
That was one of our best episodes, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And it was really nice to see that it was one of our highest viewed episodes. Yeah. So thank you all again for that if you watched that episode. Let's get to the last 2 bits of news. Jeremy Renner declined the role of Hawkeye for season 2 because he was offered half the pay that he received for season 1. Fucking pissed me off when I heard this news. Shame on the people who bid for him.
I don't know what to think too much about this whole situation.
Well, he said in an interview he was going to have to work twice as hard for the role, so he just wants to be paid the same amount. It's not like he was asking for more money for second season. He's like, just pay me what you paid me for season 1, and as he should. Like, I'm like, that's only fair. And then plus for what he's done for that character and what he'll bring to season 2, just pay him fucking what you did the first season.
Yeah, well, but I don't know what the script looks like. I don't know what the story looks like. Is he in every episode the way he was in the first season, or is he in half of them? You know what I mean? Like, it really depends on what the script is. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I would imagine. Well, he wasn't. Oh no, he wasn't every episode of the first season. But I was gonna say he wasn't in.
It was his series.
Correct, and then they brought in Kate Bishop.
Right.
Yeah.
So she was the B-list actress coming in. She was the supporting cast.
But if you pay attention to, there were some episodes where he wasn't even in most of the episode. It was Kate.
Because the mantle, that whole season was to
shift the mantle. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean,
at this point, it kind of makes sense. I mean, do I think half of what maybe a third, 2/3, less, or 2/3 total of what he was getting paid, give him some money,
Yeah.
But he's also supposed to be in Avengers Doomsday, so I don't even know.
Well, he did say that it wasn't even Disney or Marvel. He thinks it was more the accountants or the penny pinchers over with the Hawkeye project. So I don't think it was necessarily Disney's saying that.
I just don't,
because like you said, he's supposed to be in Doomsday.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. Like, you don't take shots at Disney and Marvel. And like, yeah, I guess he kind of covered his ass, but like, I don't know. I think he should.
I don't think that was a shot. I think he was just like, what the hell? This is, because he even made a joke. He's like, oh, what do you think? Because I got ran over, I'm half the man now? Or
yeah. I mean, I get it. But like, he should have just kept his mouth shut, to be honest. He really shouldn't have said much.
I feel like if he was, I'm glad he did speak up, because that's something that needs to be addressed. Or like, I kind of feel like it's happening with the older Avengers, with the exception of RDJ, but they're kind of being pushed out and paid less as a way to get them out of there, and I don't think that's right. Plus, like I said, he's going to have to work twice as hard, and if they wanted him in season 2, they were going to have him in enough episodes, maybe not as much in each episode as season 1, but he was most likely going to be in every episode if they're asking him to come back. The focus was going to be more on Kate Bishop this time, for sure. But he was going to be in every episode.
We don't know that.
I feel like it was. True, we don't, but I feel like if they're asking him to come back and he didn't say, because if he's in half the season, he would probably be okay with, okay, you're giving me half the pay for just half season? All right.
Yeah. I mean, again, we only know what he said. Like, I don't know. I just don't, I think he should have just kept his mouth shut. I think he prematurely spoke. Just wait it out, work your magic. That's what you have a manager for. That's what you have somebody that helps you get to the stuff, work through the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think they were going to budge on that, and that's why he spoke out. I don't think they were going to go above what they were offering him. That's why he declined, and they're like, all right, no worries. They didn't try to fight for it after that. You know what I mean? That's why with this next bit of news, as a result of that, season 2 of Hawkeye is reportedly moving forward with Haley Steinfeld as the lead.
But she was always going to be the lead. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point of the first season was because.
Well, like you just said, we don't know that, so it could have been just an expansion on season 2 where it's both of them. Because in the Avengers video game, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop is the first character, but she has to deal with Hawkeye, and Hawkeye's in the game also as a character. So their story, like that Hawkeye segment, is both of them. Like, you get to play as Hawkeye, but you don't get to that Hawkeye portion of the game without Kate Bishop. So
no, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
because there's the Old Man Logan comics, and there's the old blind freaking
Hawkeye.
Yeah, I think he has like one arm or something like that too. Or is that Green Arrow?
No, I think there's a version where he does have a mechanical arm.
Something.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the skins in the Marvel game.
Okay.
Where he had, okay.
But yeah, so like, is there room to use Hawkeye in the future? Yeah, but I mean, Kate Bishop, up and coming actress.
Oh no, a well established. people cannot understand you.
Excuse me. A well-established actress now.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, that's the future. You just go that direction. Like, I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. I mean, then, RDJ posted that picture while he's reading Jeremy Renner's book. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think his story is over with that series, but not as Hawkeye. Because, again,
okay,
it was just them with that show that didn't want to offer him more money for that show. But so they could be, like you said, that point of that show was to pass the mantle on to Haley Steinfeld. So like, okay, this show was meant to do that anyway. We'll just speed it up a little bit. But he can still be in Avengers movies as Hawkeye.
Yeah, I don't know.
We shall see. But that is going to be it for Nerd News today. Make sure to like and subscribe and click that notification bell to keep up with the latest in nerd news. On to our Don't React round. Now we're going to switch it up a little bit. We're going to be verses. So we're going to do 1-1. First one to laugh has to take a shot. Would you like to go first, sir?
You go first.
You want me to go first? All right.
Rock, paper, scissors. No.
I know, right? So I will wait. Because if neither of us laugh, it's just a draw. We don't take a shot. All right. So I've been thinking about changing producer's name in my phone to Cinderella. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because she loves balls.
Oh my God.
Y'all know what it is.
Cinderella likes balls.
Cinderella. She likes balls.
I don't get it. Why?
What the fuck? Have you ever seen... You're a
Disney fanatic, yeah.
A Disney fanatic and a girl dad.
Uh-huh.
The whole thing of the first movie was she wanted to get to that ball to marry the prince. Now I have to fucking break it down for the guy.
Yeah, not funny.
Fucking, that is hilarious, sir.
Not at all, man.
I guarantee you people watching this in that comment section are going to laugh.
Yeah.
Promise you. If you didn't have to laugh, you would have laughed at that. I think that you're just holding that in. But go ahead.
I guess.
I actually got that joke from Eminem, kind of. It was one of his bars.
I guess. I don't know. That was a really bad one, dude. I'm gonna say
it was not bad. To you, it was, but I guarantee you people laughed.
All right. How do you spot the blind guy at a nude beach?
Don't groping everybody?
No.
Okay.
It's not hard.
Are you gonna say the punchline or?
Did you get that either?
It's not hard. It's not hard. Yeah, see, that was another one that went.
That went right over your head.
No.
But the balls one, I get it. Like, she likes, I don't know. They could have been delivered differently. I think it has to be said a certain way for it to make more sense. But because with Cinderella, I think of like
the glass slipper and shit.
Yeah, and the bibbidi bobbidi boo, and like all of the.
Oh my god! No wonder, because you're such a Disney fanatic. You went deep into like fucking Cinderella's origin story and shit.
Every marketing strategy is. It's not. No one markets it.
Correct.
To the ball.
It was also an adult joke, so I'm not gonna be like because she likes slippers. You know, it's okay. Next one. What is the difference between a rooster and a prostitute?
Say it again.
What is the difference between a rooster and a prostitute? I'm not going to let you think about it too long.
A rooster and a prostitute.
Yeah.
They both will cock-a-doodle-doo? I don't know.
That's close, but a rooster says cock-a-doodle-doo. A prostitute says any cock-a-doo.
I mean, it's all right.
All right.
That was better.
Yeah, obviously it was better to you because you didn't fucking dive into the rooster's origin. Let me see.
Right.
It's your turn.
All right. A lady walks out of the shower and winks at her husband and says, "I shaved down there." You know what that means? And he says, "Yeah, the fucking drain is clogged."
Oh, yeah, I hate that. That's annoying.
Come on, man. That one's funny.
Not funny enough for me to laugh at.
No? All right. Go ahead.
I don't know. I don't think that one. Oh, you'll like this one. Okay. What did Nala say to Simba in bed?
So you're on the right path.
Yes, I know, which is why I want to get to the punchline before you fucking try to think of it too much. Mufasa. Move faster. That smile counts.
Move faster. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you on that,
That
one.
was better.
You smiled and that shit counts. Yeah, I got you
If
on
you
that
had
one.
delivered it better, it would have hit.
I said Mufasa, but I don't think you heard it. So that's why I just...
I heard Mufasa.
Yeah.
She said his dad's
Because you're
name.
supposed to say...
It went weird. It went dark for me for a second. I'm like, why would she say
The point is for me to
dad's
say
name?
it kind of together so that it sounds like Mufasa. That's why I just didn't enunciate the V, because I wanted it to sound like Mufasa. Fuck, I keep switching it.
See, that's funny.
Yeah. All right, so you got one more, but I think you should take a shot on that one because you smiled on that one.
All right. I don't know if you saw this. I shared this with you a while back, but we'll see.
Okay.
All right. So I actually trained Sophie how to tell this joke. So
I think I remember that, but go ahead.
No. So Obi-Wan and Anakin are in an elevator, right?
Okay.
And Obi-Wan looks at Anakin and says,
I've
Mary
seen
fuck
this
kill.
meme. Yeah, you fucked up. I've seen this meme.
Okay. Never mind then.
Mm-hmm. Shut it up.
So it was just a meme, but I taught Sophie the whole story.
Okay, go for
how
it.
to
Deliver
say
it. Yep.
So I told her, it's like, yeah, so Obi-Wan and Anakin are in an elevator, and Obi-Wan looks at Anakin and says, all right, marry, fuck, kill, go. And Anakin says one word. And then you pause, and then she goes, Padme. And that's the marry, fuck, kill for all of them.
Yeah.
So she told that to her mom. Her mom was fucking, like, dying. It was pretty funny. So she's
Hold on, she told her mom that joke?
Yeah, well, she didn't want to tell Sandy or her mom because, well, Sandy doesn't watch
Star Wars.
Yeah. And she's like, Mom doesn't watch
Shame
Star Wars
on you,
either.
Sandy.
And she's like, but I know enough. So we were all at a Florida Mayo, actually.
So, a question for you really quick. She didn't drop the F-bomb to her mom, right? What she say, bang?
Oh, we said Mary kiss, kill.
Okay. That's why I was like, she told that joke to her mom?
Yeah. I forgot. I told her to say Mary kiss, kill.
Okay. All right. Nice. So when she tells you that, you taught her to say it that way?
Yeah,
Okay.
Because I showed her the meme and she's like, oh, I get it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But then I showed her I taught her how to break it into a joke form. She's like, okay. Because she likes that stupid, that Batman and Joker joke.
Which one?
No?
The Batman and Joker joke?
Yeah.
Which joke?
Okay, so knock, knock.
Who's
no,
there?
wait. I'm Joker, you're Batman. All right?
You okay?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not your parents.
You motherfucker. And then I just beat
She
the
was
shit
like
out of you.
6.
Yeah.
She came home and she's like, Dad, I got a joke for you. 6 years old, right?
Yeah.
Fucking tells me the joke in the car. I'm dying laughing. I'm like, what the fuck? Dude?
That's funny, but so brutal.
So brutal, dude.
Batman is punching the shit out of Joker for saying that.
Yes.
Shot it up,
Yes.
sir. Undefeated. Nice. All right. Let's dive into
Let's
this
do it.
fantastic movie that we both seen. Thunderbolts, a.k.a. the new Avengers. New Avengers are right there above Kike, if you guys haven't noticed. So we have the Avengers and the new Avengers. This film was phenomenal. What happened? You're looking at the Avengers?
Oh, it's the OG Avengers.
Yeah, that's why I said the Avengers and the new Avengers.
I was wondering if you had started using, what's it called? Sam as the new Cap now.
He is up there
Behind me?
behind you, next to Joaquin Torres as Falcon. Yep.
Okay.
And then for any of you who haven't figured out my little scheme, top shelf is anyone who's been in Wakanda, New Avengers, and then Kika's faves, basically.
Pretty much. Well, not so much.
Well, I mean, not faves,
Yeah,
but
too.
I only put him there because Joaquin Torres is right next to him. So I'm like, all right, he matches with him.
Ant-Man's though. He's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right, so let's get into the review, but first we got to get to our Infinity Stone ratings.
Yes.
So would you like to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I have a number in my head. I want to know if I'm right, so I'm not going to say it, but I will say what I once you say your stone ratings, obviously.
4.5.
What the fuck? I was expecting way higher than that.
Really?
Yes.
It was really good. I just don't think it's like...
It wasn't great? You've seen it twice, and you don't think that movie was great?
I really liked it.
See, really, you added really in front of liked it. So liked it usually would just be 4 stones.
I know I didn't give it 4 stones. I won't.
I know. That's why I'm saying okay, it's your rating system or like how you.
I just feel like Sentry wasn't. Yeah, the Void was dope, and the ending and all that was really really good.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted. I guess I was disappointed that they didn't have another strong person to attempt to take out Sentry, knowing they would lose, but like because it was a bunch of super soldiers, this whole team was a bunch of super soldiers.
Well, that was the point of this movie was that us going into it was like, how the hell are these 6 super powered people gonna take down this god?
But they really don't. You know what I mean? So
correct. They don't physically subdue him, but they
And that's what I was looking for. The climax of the big fight or a fake climax. I would have been okay if they, like, I don't know, Hercules showed up, right? And then he fights him, and then
the lost Hercules that we most likely will never see again after the end credit scene of.
I think we will.
Was it a mid credits or end credits?
I think it was mid credit.
Okay, that mid credit scene, in Love and Thunder.
Yeah, but like somebody powerful enough to like. Oh, excuse me.
Well, because Thor can't come in, he's gonna be in Doomsday. So
yeah, like somebody strong enough to rival him, but then get laid the fuck out.
I feel like that defeats the purpose of this movie then, because this movie is only to showcase the new Avengers,
right?
So, but anyway, all right. So 4.5. Okay, I was expecting from you a 5.5 stones,
really?
But yeah,
no. I mean, I told you I was gonna be stricter on my grading, and I have been. Like throwing out 5s, like it has to be worth it. Like Sinners is
So this is probably the one time you don't agree with Eric Boss then. Because he said that this is the best movie since Endgame, best Marvel movie. Which I'll dive into that because I have some thoughts on that.
I'd like to recap and rank all the movies since Endgame, because we did Phase 4, right?
Well, we only did we redid our stone ratings from when we started this for just the movies from when we started this podcast, but I don't think we did it by phase. It's just when we started from then on.
Yeah.
But my Infinity Stone ratings, I'm gonna give it 6.
Really?
Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I liked that. I love the writing. I love the actor portrayal. The story was great. I do agree with you that the way that they took down Sentry wasn't as climactic as I thought it was gonna be, but for the story, it made sense.
Yeah.
And this was a very mental health focused movie, and I loved it for that reason.
Yeah.
And that's what these 6 characters needed to progress their story.
Yeah.
And like I said, the writing was proof that you can turn a hated character into a fan favorite. It was even in an article. I think I shouted them out.
Yeah, because I could not care at all for fucking
US agent. Yeah. He was a dickhead. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, and then by the end of that, you understood why he was like that or why he got to that way. A little bit. He was kind of like that in Falcon and Winter Soldier, but not to that degree.
Right.
But you could see, I don't know, and especially Yelena's story, and I mean, fucking Florence Pugh could not do wrong in my opinion.
A Yelena movie.
Yeah, for sure. She was the center focus, just like other team up movies. There's usually like the last Guardians movie. It was very much a Rocket movie. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So,
but it's a little different.
It is, but I'm saying when you're just talking about how one character has more of the focus than anything else in a story.
Well, this is the first team up Avenger level movie that had a woman as the focus, which I liked. Mm-hmm. Like I'm saying, this is very much so a Yelena movie, because Scarlett Jo wasn't this much of a centerpiece in any of the movies. You know what I mean? She was very much so just like maybe even like a third tier. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because it was always RDJ and Chris Evans. It was their movies, and if every time they were in a movie together, it's them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she was always a supporting character for sure.
Right. Yeah. Except with the exception of her own movie. Yeah. But even with that, like, Yelena stole the show in it too. You know what I mean? She was I
wouldn't say steal the show, but she did. She was She did a very great job in that, and she did. I would say a good supporting role because this was another one where it was meant to introduce a character and then them take the mantle.
Yeah.
So I think they did a great job displaying that.
Yeah.
But like I said,
but I think she did a better job taking it. Well, granted, she died, so there's no one else there for her to share the mantle with.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think she did a better job transitioning into the Black Widow role, better than they have done with the Kate Bishop.
Okay. I can understand that. I would say, I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit biased because I love Haley Steinfeld and her acting and stuff like that. And plus, I love the Hawkeye character, so I'm a little bit more biased to that. But I do agree that she did a phenomenal job with that transition and that mantle being passed over. For sure.
I'll tell you this: Clint Barton was his character was a even lower tier character than Black Widow was.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And so I think that plays to it. They got a show, and the other one got another movie. You know what I mean? I think that just proves why. For some, what's her name? Florence has just like this charisma that just
she's
works.
a phenomenal actress, man.
Yeah.
She's a great. If she doesn't win an Oscar soon, I'm gonna be pissed because
She has to do something Oscar worthy. But yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of her films where, and dude, I just found this out. A lot of which makes a lot of sense. A lot of the Oscars, the panel, or whoever's on them, haven't even watched certain movies that they've awarded actresses the Oscar to, because now one of the rules is the people on the panel have to watch the movies. That's a new rule. Yeah. So
Why is that a new rule?
Exactly.
And not an original
yeah, the person on that had the reel was like, wait, so they haven't been fucking watching these movies? And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense because Angela Bassett should have fucking won for Wakanda Forever. You know?
Yeah, she could have.
I am saying the right actress, right? Angela Bassett?
She went against a lot of
I seen everything everywhere all at once. Jamie Lee Curtis did good in that, but she did not give a better performance than fucking Angela Bassett, and I will die on that hill.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anywho, those are our Stone ratings. Let us know you guys' Stone ratings in the comments. Let's dive into this movie. So, the first thing I want to say is we have a new Marvel intro for the start of Phase 6.
Yeah.
Did you catch that? It's not clips from older movies. Now it's comic book pages. What'd you think about that?
But it's all Sentry.
I didn't catch that.
This one was all Sentry.
Really?
That's why it was that. Not because, I'm sure that one's coming back. The one with the actual movies.
Oh, really?
It's this comic book flip.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Everything was a bunch of different scenes from a Sentry comic.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. I thought it was just the new style for Phase 6. Okay.
Because it showed it, and then they went to like that dark black, and then it fades out for the void. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, that's exactly why. Because it was all Sentry.
Nice. I didn't catch that.
None of it was like Cap, no other hero. It was just Sentry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. So then that may not be the new intro for the Phase 6. It was just specific to this one.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're going to be, instead of having that specific intro, they're going to do each Marvel intro geared towards that movie, but just through the Marvel Studios logo?
I don't know, because for animation they do What If. For the Spider-Man one, good. Sorry,
somebody's gonna win a prize. Who's gonna get that number?
Yeah. So for the Spider-Man animated series, The Amazing Spider-Man, they showed like What If in the roles, like a bunch of different animations. So I think it's gonna be specific to television, movie, and then animation. I think that's what they're gonna do. Okay. Well, now if they're introducing a new character, maybe maybe like for Doomsday, it's gonna be a bunch of like Doom.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
That's what I'm talking about. Do you think that's gonna be the new norm for the Marvel intros? As far I'm talking about Marvel Studios intros,
because even
not all the other departments. I meant for Marvel Studios for the movies.
Because I think the first time they did that was for Wakanda.
Was because T'Challa passed, and that was a dedication to him. Yeah,
exactly. But it kind of makes sense if they do. I wouldn't be mad if they did.
They also did it when Stan Lee passed. The next project that came out was for Stan Lee.
Yeah, that was.
I can't remember which project that was.
Captain Marvel, right? Was the last thing he was in.
Yeah, but I don't know if he passed before that came out, and then they put that intro in.
Yeah, he passed before it came out, but that was the last cameo he was
Oh, so then that might have been the intro where they made it all him.
I think so.
Okay, but see, those made sense because they were for a specific reason. They were because to honor someone that passed. But I'm talking about the way that you said this movie was all for Sentry. So in Phase 6, do you think the Marvel intros for the movies alone are going to be to deal with that movie specifically and not
So the answer is yes.
Okay.
If they're introducing a new character.
Okay.
But if it's a new Shang-Chi movie, probably not. If it's a new Doctor Strange movie, probably not. You know what I mean? But if it's like Thunderbolts, which introduced Sentry, although because everybody else in the Thunderbolts we knew, there was no new characters other than Sentry.
Fair.
So Doomsday probably Doom. You know what I mean?
Okay, that makes sense if you're saying only to roll out a new character.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, and that's a hint to us saying, hey, pay attention. This person's going to be, because I don't think Sentry's story is over, and I think he's going to have some type, because he's really powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely not over if they, especially since because of that end credit scene.
Yeah.
So, all right. So back to the point that I mentioned before, Eric Voss said it is the best MCU movie since Endgame. I agree that it's a great film, but I don't agree with his comparison to that, only because I don't think Endgame can be compared to other movies because Endgame was on such a grander scale, and it had fucking 10 years of build-up.
I don't think it... Right, and he says that, too. Like, I don't think he meant as in, like, it's in the level of... I think he meant since Endgame. Like that's the line.
Since the movie came out,
yeah,
he hasn't liked the film as much as that movie since. Every movie that came out since then, he hasn't liked that movie that much compared to Endgame.
I don't know if he expect like if I didn't take it as him comparing
it to the film Endgame, just to his liking of the film.
Right.
Like he liked it as much as he did Endgame. And nothing that came out since then that he liked that much.
Right. I think that's how I took it.
All right. Then I misread it. Either I misread it or that's just how I took his interpretation of it, which that's what I didn't agree with. I'm like, you can't compare that movie to any other movie that's not on that grander of a scale.
I really liked Volume 3, you know? Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right, like, that one. No Way Home, I think, was another great film that came out since Endgame. So if you're saying that that's what he meant by that, then I agree that okay, you can compare it to Endgame because he's comparing to his liking of it since then.
Yeah,
I mean, Eric Voss, you're watching. Yeah. Hit us up in the comments, man. Let us know.
Please do. But yeah, I really liked the movie. Mm-hmm. You know, I just don't think it's better than Volume 3. I don't think it's better than, you know, even the third Spider-Man movie, like you know, No Way Home. I don't.
See, I don't either, but I still think it was as good as those films. You know what I mean? 6 stones. Mm-hmm. I gave those 2 films 6 stones. But all right, I mean that's now that you break it down like that, okay, that's a fair point. Yeah. What's something else that you liked about the film?
Well, they established this Ox Corp, or what is it called? Ox, right? It's OXE, Ox.
Was it
Ox Corporation?
Oh, the like company that Valentina did.
Yeah, it's their like replacement for
Shield and
no, for Oscorp, because Oscorp was what was funded.
Oh, is that what you?
Yeah, well, because the original Thunderbolts or the Dark Avengers was funded by Osborn through Oscorp.
Oh fuck! I didn't even make that connection.
And I think that's the MCU's like
way of bringing in Oscorp.
No. It's their replacement for Oscorp because they can't use it.
Oh, that's what I meant by bringing in Oscorp.
Yeah, that's what they're using. The fund
right, because of the Sony property, the Sony owning it. Okay,
so that's what I was like. Oh, and to my knowledge, I've never heard of this before. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean,
dude? I didn't even catch that. Fucking good
so
shit.
That's how I took it.
Nice.
I did like how Yelena jumped off the second tallest building in the beginning. That was pretty cool. Dude, and she actually does the jump. With lunges. We
shared that that like behind the scenes footage in one of our chats. I I did not expect that to be the fucking opening scene, which I was like,
neither.
fuck yeah, this is awesome.
Okay, cool.
And I love the way they shot that with it's just silent. No audio. Well, you hear audio, but like just when they didn't put any music behind it, it's just dead drops. So you can.
And it's just her narrating herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
But for the jump, it's completely silent.
Right, but she was talking up to the jump. Then she
right, she was talking while she's sitting on the ledge.
Again, when she like lands, she parachutes through, breaks the window, takes.
That's what I'm talking about. But for that silence of the drop, I fucking loved it. That was really, really well done for sure. The Supreme Cinephile is the IG that talked about what a good writing can do from a hated character to turning him into a fan favorite. I totally agree with that because that's what this film did with U.S. Agent.
Yeah.
And it, I don't know. Would you agree in saying that they did that for Valentina as well?
I didn't like her,
but you understood her.
Yeah. So I did some research on her character itself, and so she comes from like her dad gets killed as we see in the movie. I think that the complex that she has to want to protect the world radically comes from losing her parents, I think.
Losing her father in that radical way, right. Yeah.
Well, she lost her parents in like that in the comics.
Her mom was killed the same way, or?
I think they both were just murdered. Honestly.
Oh, okay.
Maybe together or separate occasions, but nonetheless murdered. So I think that complex that she has of trying to protect the world, it screams Tony, trying to put a,
armor around the world.
Yeah. And there's flaws to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Project Insight. Like, there's a lot of flaws to that, and obviously. But it comes from people of fear that have, fear losing somebody again in a certain way. Yeah. And so I think her story fit well with the story of everybody else, too. Because she's just as much as a hurt individual as all the other
that harsh trauma put her on this life path.
This war path.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see.
I did want to give hats off to the writers Eric Pearson and Joanna Callow. They did like I said, I can't say enough about the writing in this film. They did a fucking phenomenal job with this.
Yeah.
It was really well done, and they did it in a way where they shed light on each character without like overdoing it. Yeah. And like the scenes with those little flashes of touches between Sentry or Bob right. and each character where they were passed. They weren't passed out. Yelena and him were passed out, and that's how he went into her dream, or just brought that traumatic memory to the forefront, and then did the same thing with
Walker.
With Walker and also Valentina, but they didn't have to be unconscious for that, is what I was getting at. Because I was like, did they all do it? But then I remembered. No. But yeah, I think it was fucking really well done the way they did that.
So this is something that popped in my head when I watched it. The whole sending each hit person after each other to go take each other out when they went to the vault, it gave me the Dark Knight. You know how Joker had all the...
Yes! Oh, fucking good shit. Yeah.
I was like,
I didn't connect that. That's basically
what Joker did to his whole crew that fucking robbed the bank.
When that happened, I was like, I'm like, this seems familiar, but I didn't connect it to the Dark Knight. Good job on that one. Yeah, nicely done.
She's basically Jokered them all.
Yeah, pretty much, which is a solid way to get rid of evidence.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And not have to share anything with anyone, or if you're trying to rob a bank, it's pretty genius, but it's pretty dark too. So, but I was like, she basically Jokered them. Yeah. So I saw that, and I was like, I'm gonna bring it up when I talk to him about it.
So speaking of that scene, that was a dope scene.
Yeah.
The fight choreography in that was badass.
Oh yeah.
The camera shots were excellent. Something fucking hilarious happened to producer night in the theater.
Okay.
During that scene happening, and I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this story, we're watching it, Taskmaster, we and film addicts, all of us nerds, we kind of envisioned Taskmaster dying in this film, right? We did not see her getting past maybe the first, I don't know, part of the movie.
I said she was going to pull a Chris Brown.
Right, die in the beginning.
Yeah.
And we were right. Yeah, I did not expect her to make it past that scene, especially since when it was happening. But I would say maybe 5 or 10 seconds. Well, no, I won't say that. Christina leaned over to me after you get some of those fights, the fights between Taskmaster and I think she was fighting Ghost. She was fighting Ghost at first and John Walker, right?
Yeah.
So after Christina's seen Taskmaster do her moves and shit, she leans over to me. She goes, I like Taskmaster. She's dope. She goes back into her seat. 2-3 seconds later, Ghost pops up in front of her, shoots her. And she looks up. She's like, what the fuck? We both started laughing our asses off because she couldn't have timed that comment any better for comedic purposes. We couldn't stop laughing for like, I don't know. So maybe they stopped fighting. Yeah. That shit was fucking funny. It was so funny.
There was a couple like, oh shit moments in the movie. Like when the little girl gets
voided away.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, that got.
And then right after he saved her.
Yeah.
So that was I'm glad you brought that up too, because that was my first clue to like, oh, they're not actually dead. I think that he put them into the void. I didn't know what to call it or what it was.
Well,
I was like,
because we saw in the trailer her walk into the void, and then we saw Red Guardian like flipping out like, no, Elena, like, so we saw that part in the trailer.
I don't remember that from the trailer, but okay.
Well, there's different trailers, but yeah, that's one of the ones where we see her walk clearly into the void. And then when they're in a vault and like she gets a flashback, and then Paul Walker,
Bruh.
We are not talking about Fast and Furious right now.
John Walker,
yeah.
John, right? John Walker?
Yeah, John Walker.
He gets this.
Look behind you, John F. Walker.
Okay,
yeah.
he gets that flashback. I was like, he's doing that with the void, so that's how she walks into it. Like I had picked that up early.
Okay.
When I saw her, when Yelena did it, I was like, the fuck is that? And then Walker did it. I was like, that's the void. He's not. He doesn't realize he's doing it, but he's starting.
Have you read any of the Sentry comics?
Nah.
Okay.
I mean, it's a relatively newer character. Like,
yeah.
He came out like in 2000, something like that.
How did you know about the Void previous to this movie then?
Well, I know what the Void is. I know that he has that other entity of the Void.
Oh, you did?
I knew enough of him, but I didn't read the comics. But
okay.
Because I did my research on him through Marvel Wiki, not because I had read his comics.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So I was like, what the fuck is the Void? Is he like... He's kind of like Null. Because that's what I thought initially. I'm like, does he get his power from Null?
Okay. Essentially,
Null is the god of... the
darkness,
that dark realm, like the void. It's technically the void also.
Yeah.
So that was written not really thinking that whole process through.
Mm-hmm.
But Null is the god of that whole dominion versus this is like a split personality.
Yeah.
They get into it because it's in the comics, the way that they made it seem is like he had this power prior to the super soldier serum. So he was genetically enhanced it from there. But like that dark void that he was going into, whatever serum he got was like, 1,000 times more potent than the original super soldier serum.
Yeah. And
it took his dual personality and enhanced it to whatever the maximum that it could.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, this character, does he have DID or schizophrenia?
I don't think it's neither.
Really? Okay.
Because it's its own manifestation of his like darkness.
Okay.
Because of the super soldier serum.
But that's what I'm saying. Before that serum, you don't think it was like a dissociative identity disorder? Like
no, he was depressed. He was battling. He's an addict that's depressed.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? But his depression was so deep and enhanced so much because of the super soldier serum that he took, his version of it, and it's so potent that it just created this other entity.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like nega.
Yeah.
Nega version of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like how Adam Warlock has Magnus. He has a split personality too.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah.
So Magnus is the bad version of Adam Warlock.
I think you actually talked about that when we were covering Guardians. Yeah. I remember that now. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I was kind of trying to figure that out when he was describing to Yelena what he was going through before he got to the program. I was like, oh, is it DID or is it schizophrenia?
I don't think I think it's just like hardcore depression.
Yeah.
It's just like borderline suicidal depression.
Yeah.
And that's why he turned to narcotics to try to get that release.
Yeah. So, because some people have a literal chemical imbalance in their head where they can't break free of depression outside of medications. So, that makes sense. But talking about the performances again, I don't think Florence Pugh can do any wrong in my book, and I actually still want to see that film with her and Andrew Garfield because I hear it's a great film. I heard it wasn't well received, but I heard it was a really good film, and I know both those actors are great actors, so I wanted to see that film. And then I can watch David Harbour in anything. This man, he is one of my faves.
He's hilarious.
He is fucking hilarious, and his portrayal of Alexei is one of my favorites in the MCU. And I've just been a fan of his for so long, and like I said, anything I see him in, he doesn't miss. I'm like, I fucking love this guy and everything. He even did Hellboy, believe it or not, that one little solo Hellboy film, and I didn't like the film, but I enjoyed him as Hellboy. He looked kind of a little weird to me, but I was like, you did a good job.
I think he did a good job too, yeah.
And then he also was in Working Man, the new Jason Statham movie.
Yeah.
He played a blind guy, and I'm like, he fucking killed it. Still, he gave a solid performance as a blind guy. Yeah,
for sure.
So one of my favorite scenes of the movie was a scene between him and Yelena.
Oh, when Yelena goes to visit him at his house?
No, it was after they try stopping Sentry, and she goes to leave because she's like, oh, I'm fucking done. We're losers. Blah blah. She starts to walk off, and I think this was one of my favorites, being a girl dad, and I'm sure you could relate to this too. It fucking got me in the feels, dude. When she's telling him, you could probably remember the lines a little better than I can, but where she was saying that she needed him and he wasn't around, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then I feel like it was a conversation that they both needed to have. And then didn't he say something like that he doesn't see the mistakes she made when he looks at her? He only sees, did he say like the light or the good in her? Mm-hmm. Which one was, do you remember?
I think it was the good in her.
The good, right? Yeah. Okay. And dude, that got me. And then even my wife was like, you got to tell your daughter that. And I was like, you're fucking right. For sure. She needs to hear that from me. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I got to make a note to tell my daughter that no matter what she does, I will only ever see the good in her. I don't know if you felt that too as much as I did, because you have more daughters than I do. So it's like, I'm sure that got you.
You have to have those heart-to-heart moments, but there has to be a good balance of like, she got to know. I just had a conversation similar like this to Sophie, like stuff going on that she was going into. Like, yeah, girl, I always got your back, but like, you do got to take ownership when you fuck up.
Oh, no, absolutely. I'm not saying she has a free pass. Like, in no way did this speech give me like, oh, you have a free pass to do whatever the fuck you want. No.
Yeah.
You're going to mess up and you got to own up to that. But when I look at you, I will only ever focus or look at the good in you, not hold the bad things you do over you or
over
you know,
you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Then I agree. Yeah.
But that scene fucking got me, dude. I was like,
no, Sophie enjoyed the movie a lot. Isaiah enjoyed the movie.
Nice.
Mia too. Not sure about Isabel so much, but I mean, Sandy really liked it too.
To be fair, she's not really too into Marvel like we are, right? Or
no, she really liked Captain America.
That's probably because. Oh wait, Sam Wilson's Captain America.
Yeah,
that's probably because Joaquin Torres is in there.
Exactly. Yes,
I know what it is. I know what it is. I was a teen once. I went to see movies just for.
We went to go see it at Crestwood, and she's like, "Who's that geeking?" And Sophie's like, right away, telling her, "Oh, that's the new, Falcon." Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Like, his name is Joaquin. Da, da, da. So Sophie knew already, so she was telling her about it. She's like, "Oh, he's cute." Like, oh god, eating my popcorn, minding my fucking business.
You're like, shh, I'm trying to watch a movie. But yeah, so what did you think about the action sequences? I thought they were great.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bucky doing his Terminator scene on the highway was pretty dope.
Yo, I'm so glad you brought that one up, because that was one of my favorite funny moments. Was when he's taking down the other armored vehicles. Yeah. And then John Walker's like celebrating. He's like, "Yeah, all right." And then Bucky shoots that like bomb disc at him, and then it lands on the ground. He's like, "Oh no!" What did he say? He said something to that, right? Yeah, and then it blows it up. That shit was fucking hilarious.
I like in the couple interviews, they did a lot of cool interviews together that are pretty iconic memes and shit. But where he's like, I guess there was a cut where he goes. John Walker goes, "Bucky," when he sees him, and he's like, "Oh, Like he says it like that in the voice, and then Florence Pugh does it. Did you see that one? That's why I said it earlier.
Were they on the like a red carpet or something?
No, they were sitting in like director chairs or whatever.
Oh, okay.
They're sitting in those, and they're being interviewed.
Was it all 6 of them?
Yeah.
Then I think I did see that one.
Yeah, and so like Florence is like, yeah, there was a take where instead of him saying, "Oh, it's Bucky the Winter Soldier,"
he did that.
He goes, "It's Bucky."
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, I think they're for them not being that well known in the MCU. They're well-known actors, all of them, but not having that. This is their first movie together. Their chemistry was really good.
It really was.
It's really, I'm really excited to see them in Doomsday. I'm sure half of them are gonna die, but
all right, let's not be too fucking down in the dumps.
I'm not trying to be.
Actually, some people might know this reference, but let's not be too much of a Debbie Downer. All right, that SNL character, I love that one.
But it's gonna happen, like the whole reboot of the MCU. I think Yelena's gonna live.
I don't think there's gonna be as many deaths as you think there are, because you forget that we're still in that multiverse era, and with this whole reset, those characters can still come back just as a different version of that character, still played by those same actors.
Possibly.
So if you're saying death and
the 616 version of that might die, yeah.
Okay.
And then they're gonna take a different tone of that character.
All right. If you're saying that, then I'm more on board with that, but I don't necessarily think death and then gone.
No, I don't think so either.
I didn't know if that's how you.
I can't believe that if I want Wanda to come back. You know what I mean? So I can't afford that type of.
And we see you, Elizabeth Olsen. We ain't buying that shit. We know.
Well, they're saying that like the variant that exists, that's gonna be in Doomsday, is supposed to be just as powerful as R616, but it's not this Wanda. So
yeah, I wouldn't expect it to be, but I still plan on seeing Elizabeth Olsen back as Scarlet Witch for sure.
I agree. Let me see what else. I think Sentry looks perfect. His comic book accurate.
Blonde hair was a bit much. I like that they even touched on that they played on the whole joke about his blonde hair.
The whole movie, like they made fun of Paul Walker. Oh, Jesus Christ, John Walker's.
How bad do you want that man to be alive again? Because you're just.
You think he'd be in the MCU right now?
Did they bring that up, the whole blonde hair, because of Thor?
No, I think they're just being dicks because they're making. The point I was going to make is they're making fun of John Walker's hat or helmet. He's like, it's cool, right? It's like a helmet. She's like, yeah, if you say so.
Oh yeah, and then see, that's a good impression right there. You tap into it sometimes.
I did that on purpose.
My favorite part of that was when he was talking about the gun, and they're like, he's like, yeah, it's kind of big. Yeah, it's big, isn't it? They're like, I guess, you know what I mean? He's like, yeah, I mean, it's a little big, but I like it. They're like, well, do you like it? Yeah, that's good for you then. Like, if you like it, yeah. That scene where they're just fucking with him, and I love that shit.
You're like, oh, it's the helmet. You're like, yeah, it's okay, Then he's fucking wearing the beret at the end.
Yeah,
I feel like that was indirect because they were making fun of his helmet.
Yeah,
that's why I think he switched up his thing. He's like,
they were totally patronizing him too. They're like, well, do you like it? Then he's like, yeah, I do. They're like, well, then good. That's good for you. Total 100%.
We should do like nerd news in that accent. What?
It would slip in and out so bad. Of like,
wow.
Pause. That was not what I
meant. I was waiting for that. That's what she said. I knew she was coming with that. I was like, wow. Talk about an alley-oop.
Yeah, seriously. But no, I meant like the accent. I don't think we could keep that accent going the entire nerd news. It would start to go into like, it's slip into like, I don't know, Middle Eastern at one point or fucking something. It would start going up and down. We'd probably hit Scottish somewhere.
Yeah. We'll just go through all the nationalities, all the accents.
I do like testing my like ability to do accents, so that would be fun. But I'll
do the intro in Kermit's voice.
Oh fuck! Please don't. Please do. I don't think anybody wants to hear that.
Have you seen those Kermit like TikToks or reels where it's like he's flirting with girls? And then like, no. Oh my god, I gotta send you. You've seen them? And he whips out like a cucumber.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, I have seen those. Yeah. I've seen those. Yeah, those are funny.
Dude, they're hilarious.
Yeah, there was something else I wanted to say. Oh yeah, I did enjoy the way that it displayed some of the key characters' like biggest fears and regrets through his powers.
That's another reason why 4.5. I would have liked to seen more of the other characters' time in the void. Like we only saw Sentry and Yelena, and their pain.
No, we seen John Walker's. We seen
a tiny bit.
As much.
Right, but we didn't see Alexi. We didn't see Ghost.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like we didn't see Bucky, and I think Bucky's a little more level-headed, but like that could have been the perfect time of like giving us a flashback of him and Skinny Steve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like just like I think that's if you didn't give me this huge climactic fight, dive hard into these emotions. Make me fucking feel like really bad for everybody. I felt really bad for Bob. I felt really bad for Yelena. Mm-hmm. But everyone else, yeah.
Well, I think the reason for that is for two reasons. Number one, time. And number two, the focus was always meant to be in this story on Yelena and Bob.
Yeah.
So I think them diving into it, into only them two in the void and that aspect, really helped focus the story on that.
Okay.
And then I feel like if you focus more on other people's, it takes away from that. Especially the climax of the film wouldn't have hit as hard. Like her talking him down and that scene of them all running to Bob and stopping the good Bob from attacking Void, not the good Bob, from Bob attacking the Void and the Void consuming him completely. I don't think it would have hit as hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
maybe
Yelena and Bob were in that, they established that connection by themselves in the void.
Yeah.
So, and I agree, it would have been great to see those. The movie would have had to have been longer.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me too. 100%. The film did cost crazy amount of money, so doing that longer,
that's crazy.
Cuts into their budget or their profits. But
Sinners and Thunderbolts are at like $300.5 million in box office, but like Sinners only cost $180 million to make, versus this movie cost
$2 something, right?
No, it was like $400 million. So they're barely
$400 million. I thought it said 200 and something million.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, I don't think it was because Endgame didn't even cost $400 million.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe
I thought it was like 250
but they're
or 280
barely
million.
making a profit now.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If you made the film longer, they're definitely not making a profit. Because they would have to pay for it to be longer. You know what I mean? And they would have to put more money into the budget for it to be longer. But there was an article saying that I think Ben Stiller had X'd about it because it's X now, not Twitter. But he said, like, in what world does a $90 million opening weekend box office not be a hit? Because the article was talking about how it's only at $90 million in opening weekend. They were like worried that it wasn't going to make a profit or it wasn't a huge opening. Oh, I think that's what it was. It wasn't a big opening. He's like, in what world is 90 million not a huge box office opening? Yeah. But I just think the film has to be longer, which, like we said, we're totally okay with it. But for what it was, it had to focus on them too, in order for that climax to hit as hard as it did.
I'm not saying deep dive into all of their pains, but just give me a scene. You know what I mean?
Fair point.
Even Val got a scene, and I would rather have seen Alexi get hurt, miss. You know, like it's just so much opportunity that
Alexi get hurt.
Huh? I would like to see Alexi get hurt, like to see his pain. You know what I mean? In the void.
Oh, you mean like get his time in the void? Okay, you threw me off with get hurt. I was like, why do you want to see him injured? But okay,
no, not physically.
Okay,
just emotionally. I want to see what hurts, what he's hurting about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's knowing Alexi is probably just gonna be his depression of, what was not
being the Red Guardian
anymore. Of being betrayed by Dreykov. Oh
yeah,
of him like throwing up into prison and shit.
Yeah,
it'll probably just be diving into that, which is
right. But like, it could have been a comedic scene, a quick, stupid, funny one.
Yeah,
it's sad for him nonetheless, but a quick, easy one. Just maybe just honestly like an extra 10 minutes, and each of them get like 2 to 3 minutes of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the original script turns out that Taskmaster wasn't even meant to die in the beginning.
No,
That she was supposed to make it at least towards the end of the movie, and her and Ghost were originally supposed to bond because they had similar upbringings, being
secluded and not being around people. And
not only that,
being an assassin,
but used as an assassin from since a child.
Yeah.
So they were supposed to bond that. I would have loved to have seen that, and especially our producers, because she liked fucking Taskmaster. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I would have definitely liked to see that.
I mean, also. Overall, I think what they did a good job of is storytelling.
Yeah.
And I really, I don't want you to think this 4.5 is because I think it's a crap movie, because I don't think it was.
No, I know 4.5 doesn't. Your 4.5 doesn't say that. The only thing I took from that was I was expecting it to be a little higher. That's all. Okay. Just because of what your first reactions to me were.
Yeah, I love the movie.
Yeah,
but like I said, it's not better than Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not better than No Way Home. It's not better than So there's three other movies that I would put above it since Endgame. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, and I liked all those movies a lot. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I would say it would be on par with like Loki. You know what I mean? It's really good.
Okay.
Great storytelling, a lot of emotion behind it. It's really good. But
you gave Loki 6 stones.
But it also had more episodes. All the episodes. So yeah.
Oh, it had more of a story to it.
More of a story. Yeah. But
point.
I'm saying it's on that level of storytelling.
Yeah.
But it was done in a movie form, which hinders it being more. It could have been deeper. You know what I mean?
True.
But I don't know. I didn't want this.
That's what she said.
I didn't want this to be a show. I love that this was a movie.
Yeah.
I'm totally okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's all I really got. You said the cool. There was a lot of cool moments with Alexi, or that one moment with Alexi and Yelena.
Mm-hmm.
I like the homage that they did to the shield toss up where she jumps on Steve and Nat did it. He did it with a shield, and then he threw Nat up in the air in Avengers 1.
Oh yeah. So she could jump on the Shatari, grab a hold of Shatari's little flying thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then Alexi threw her, but with his hands.
Yeah, I kind of seen it as like their version of a fastball special. You know what I mean? Like,
literally.
Yeah, that was pretty dope, and that was, I think I did see that in the moment and recognize that was a callback to
Steve and
Natasha. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I did like that. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cool little homages here and there.
I did think it was a great use of comedy bits without making this a full-on like action comedy movie.
Right.
Because this was more of, I would consider this more of a action drama movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, they had great use of the comedy bits, and there's a perfect avenue with Alexi because he is a comedic character.
Yeah.
And most of them, no, Yelena has some funny parts too. That's because that's also her character. She's a smart ass, and she gets those little quips in. But I enjoy that. You know me, I love the comedy, and I always look for it in films. Mm-hmm. And this gave me a great amount of comedy in it.
Yeah. Let's talk about the actual ending, or at the end with Val.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of slick. She's like, she always has an angle. You know what I mean?
And I seen that. I'm like, there's no way. Why is she hiding by that thing and trying to run? She's not going to escape them. Yeah. So why is she going through that? Something was sus right there. Yeah. I was like, something's happening. I didn't expect that to happen. I was
like, what is she up to?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh. And when Yelena walks up to her, she's like, we own you now.
Yeah. And she's like, son of a. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, well played, Yelena. Well played.
Yes.
And she got her, her team up now, and she's an Avenger now. And then at the, as they're flipping through all like the newspaper feedings and,
you mean feeds?
Feeds, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the magazine feeds and like all these different like promo art and promo. Mm-hmm. It was really funny, really cool.
Yeah.
I think he's, U.S. agent is riding his shield in one of the pictures. Like, there's a bunch of goofy shit in there.
Yeah. Speaking of his shield. Are we not going to talk about how Sentry turned his shit into a taco?
Right.
Turned his shield.
And then at the end...
What is his shield made out of? Do you know? Because it's obviously not vibranium, but could it be proto-adamantium? Because we've already established that U.S. and Japan have some adamantium from the Celestial.
Sentry's that strong, so he could have bent it.
If it was vibranium, true.
Either.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what it's made out of. I don't know what, in particular, that one's made out of. You know what I mean? So maybe they'll establish it later.
And then I was wondering, I'm like, he just kept that shield like that for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you have 3 super soldiers on your team.
Yeah. Bucky holds one side with his arm.
Alexia, him.
And just fucking...
Yeah.
Yeah.
How the fuck did y'all not do that? But you just stay around with the fucking taco shield that's barely gonna deflect anything.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was funny, and it was kind of bothering me. I'm like, why you have it? And then they touched on it. He's like, he tried doing it himself. But I'm like, I mean, you have 2 other super soldiers.
And then
what are you doing?
In the end credit, it's still bent.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like, all the technology they have, they could have, like, flattened it out somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But whatever. So at the end of all of the, like, clipping of the newspaper and the magazines, it takes away Thunderbolts and it says New Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're the New Avengers. So that's what the asterisk always stood for this whole time.
Yeah, and we knew that. We knew it was going to change to something. Did we predict Dark Avengers? Or did you say that?
I said Dark Avengers. Yeah.
It makes sense that they don't go with Dark Avengers because that kind of has an evil connotation to it. But, and then they fucking did it after opening weekend on their IG, on Marvel's IG.
RDJ
or Thunderbolts.
posted it. RDJ posted it and then deleted and then changed it back to Thunderbolts. He posted "Congratulations, New Avengers."
Yeah,
and then
I seen that.
Changed the comment or the description and then put it to Thunderbolts.
And I don't think that was by accident. I think they did that on purpose. And I tell you, babe. I'm like, oh, RDJ already posted that. I'm like, that's what he meant by that. And then I went to go look for it and I couldn't find it where he said New Avengers. Yeah. That made sense that he changed it. Do you remember when I was talking about that?
That was done purposely.
But I'm talking about, was it the Thunderbolts Instagram or Marvel's Instagram where they had the unveiling? Instagram. No. Where the Thunderbolts had the unveiling of where they ripped the poster and it says New Avengers where Thunderbolts.
I don't remember.
I think it was Marvel's Instagram.
Sebastian Stan was walking around and like rolling up new posters and shit like that.
Yeah, that was after that. Cool. After they did that. But they did that opening weekend, so they're like, "Fuck spoilers. This is what it is. You guys should have been there opening weekend like we were.
Yeah,
if you didn't want to get that spoiler."
So how about that post-credit scene?
Which one, sir? The end credits or the mid credits? Because the mid credits was funny as fuck. It was with Alexi,
right?
Where he's at the grocery store and then somebody's looking for cereal. And then he's standing there waiting for somebody to buy the Wheaties with them on there. Yeah. And then he was so fucking funny because he had the cereal and then he's showing the lady like, and then she's like, okay. She takes the cereal and then she walks to the other house and just puts it down at like an end cap and walks away. He's like,
yeah, that one was pretty funny.
Yeah. But the there's also one thing I want to say. We find out officially who has the old Avengers Tower. RDJ's
Val the whole time.
Val with the CIA bought it. Did the CIA technically buy it, or because she works for the CIA, so she used it with that funding, I would imagine.
Either the
Oxcorp.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, but like you said, Val is the one who purchased it, and then she even talks about it like, so many battles happened here, and
and it was even the same bar.
The bar setup.
Yeah.
That one was where Age of Ultron took place, where the party was, because that bar that she was at was where.
Well, no, that's the same one he had from the first Avengers movie, but before it was where he first flew in. They moved it over and shifted it. It's the exact same bar.
No, I understand that, but I thought that was a different floor but to be fair, in Avengers it was on one side, and then in Age of Ultron it was on the other side.
Correct.
So they just moved it. I thought it was a different floor. So okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's still in the position of Age of Ultron because that's where Nat was talking with Banner. Yeah. So as she was talking about, so many iconic fights or so many great fights happened here.
Yeah.
But they changed it up a little bit, but they still kept the structure the same.
Yeah.
And interesting fact, that scene, the director had nothing to do with that scene. Barely knew about it, and it was filmed. The end credit scene. Yeah. It was filmed
like a month before it was released.
Yeah, and it was filmed in London
on the set for Doomsday.
Yes.
Yeah. So huge spoiler alert.
No, it's not. We don't need to get spoiler alerts because y'all know what this video is about when you clicked on it, and if you clicked on it without watching, what's wrong with you? What are you doing?
That's true. So it says 14 months later, and they're all in new uniforms. Alexi has his fucking NASCAR suit that says Avengers because they're battling. What's it
His
called? Like
sponsored out fucking NASCAR style suit.
Well,
yeah.
that's so they're sponsored out. All those sponsors have appeared in as different product placements throughout the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
So the Peloton, it's General Ross was just writing it in Brave New World.
Okay.
You know, 'cause he was riding the bike. thing.
Right.
And then like the Tide commercials that have came out. I think Duncan was on there. AMPM, the gas company. We see a lot of those in the background in the movies.
Wasn't one of the I said Perry water? The one with the
Perrier.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Wasn't that on him?
Possibly. I think so. But yeah, so there's a lot of product placements, and it's all the different companies that have sponsored these movies.
Okay.
They basically said, "Hey, we're gonna give you an ad, and all of you are sharing the fucking time right now."
Yeah.
And his fucking patches all over.
Yeah.
And then he put the Z for
To change
Avengers.
it, yeah, because apparently there's copyright issues between
Yeah.
Sam Wilson, who has still the title of the
Yeah.
Avengers, as you've seen in Brave New World.
Do you think so? Sam Wilson, who do you think he asked to help him establish this copyright? Do you think he,
She-Hulk?
Oh, I wasn't going that way. A really good
What?
lawyer. Who was a really good lawyer.
Oh, Matt Murdock.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, seeing as how... Oh, no, his Avengers isn't the West Coast Avengers, so never mind. Yeah, I could see either one, actually, because, well, to be fair, in Doomsday, we know that Tatiana Maslany was supposed to be in that. Is she in the second
I didn't see her.
call
I
of
don't think
casting? Or the second reveal of casting?
so. I don't think so.
Okay. Because, well, we did hear that news bit and we talked about it, that she had a significant role, but now we're not seeing her name. But anyway,
Yeah.
so it could either be her or Matt Murdock. I don't know if...
But he said publicly, they're like, hey, what's your involvement in Doomsday? He's like, oh, I'm not involved with that.
we don't believe any of these things.
Again, right. I agree.
So, yeah, I'm liking that. But I could see either one.
Either one, yeah.
Yeah.
I was leaning more towards Matt, but I mean, yeah, Tatiana, I'm with it. She-Hulk.
Because, and I see it more as She-Hulk because Sam Wilson has that connection through Bruce.
That's fair.
That's his cousin. So he was like, hey, my cousin's a lawyer. She can help you out with that. You know what I mean? I just see more of a connection with She-Hulk than with Matt Murdock. But he does have more of a connection to New York in that way. Mm-hmm. Like DC, and that's closer to Matt Murdock. So, like I said, I could see either one.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So then they're at the new tower, the new Avengers Tower, we'll call it. And then they're talking about this whole copyright issue, and then they get an alert from something entering the Earth's atmosphere, right?
First they say, like, we can't even call ourselves. I thought you were gonna. She tells Bucky, like, I thought you were gonna handle this, and he's like, I did, but it didn't really go that well. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, now we got this shit happening in space, and no one's telling us what's going on.
Oh yeah.
And stupid John Walker's like, space? What do you mean? We have plenty of room. Like, she's like, no, outer space.
Such an airhead moment sometimes. Like,
yeah, that was pretty fucking funny. And then he goes, then that says, is it Friday? Or some AI system of some sort?
I don't think it's Friday, because Friday has, like, it's specific to Tony, and his security protocols, I think, would negate anybody from tapping into that.
That's fair.
And I doubt
with recent
fucking
news
Pepper Potts
of
would
Joe
give.
Costa being, who is like a female Vision. I'm sorry, a female Ultron.
Who again?
Joe Costa.
Joe Costa.
It's like spelled out that way. It's an acronym for something.
Okay.
I think, and so it's like the female version of Ultron. So Ultron creates it.
Okay.
And that gets bride.
Oh, got you. Okay.
I feel like that's a good opportunity for that AI created by Val to grow into his, and then
To bring back Ultron for this next.
because Ultron's going to be in Armor Wars,
Right.
you know what I mean? And they said that Jokosta's supposed to come back in Armor Wars with Ultron, or not supposed to, but come up, like happen. She's supposed to, I don't know, like give. I don't know if she gives birth, or I don't know what you call the AI.
Yeah.
She's gonna be created. So So yeah, I think that would be a good opportunity for like an AI created by Val, goes bad, similar to how Tony did with Ultron, kind of.
Yeah.
Thing. And that's a good intro for Jocasta. But
Speaking of Friday, I changed Siri's voice to be Irish so she can sound like Friday a little bit.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
nice. That's funny. But yeah, so it says that there's an interdimensional spacecraft entering Earth's orbit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Alexi's like, interdimensional, what does that mean? And he's such an airhead too.
Yeah.
That whole team, like,
No, I wouldn't say the whole team. I would say at least half the
it's Ghost, Bucky, and Yelena are the only three
that with smarts.
that make sense. They have logical sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Walker, Bob.
Stop with the Paul Walker.
Jesus
It's John.
Christ,
Grab the Funko and put it right in front of you so you can read
John
it.
Walker,
Yeah.
Alexi, and Bob are total airheads.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So at least half the team,
Yes,
or at
literally
the
half
most
the
half the team, are
Yeah.
total airheads for sure.
But they need a marksman. I think that's all they're missing. Like similar to like a Hawkeye person.
Right, and I don't think Kate Bishop goes on that team because she's part of
No.
the Young Avengers at the least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think the Bullseye.
Nah.
You know what I mean? If he has a redemption, well, I don't think they give him a redemption story, but
Yeah.
he's the closest one I could see joining that team because that
Yeah.
team is full of second chancers.
Yeah.
So if they give anybody a second chance and it's Bullseye, that's the closest character I could see being their marksman.
I don't see that.
Either do I, but I'm saying like that's what I'm saying. That's the closest
I'll
character.
brainstorm. I'll figure someone out.
All right.
Could be a mutant of some sort. So.
True. That's a good point.
But either way,
So then she taps into the satellites, and then they
Yeah.
see a craft. And whose fucking spacecraft is it?
it's the Fantastic Four.
Yes, sir.
But notice there's 4 prongs on there.
Uh huh.
So like it's 4 different. It's if you
I
look
only
at,
remember seeing 3, but go ahead.
right in the trailer for Fantastic Four, that one has 4 sides that like they all divot like that.
Oh, you're saying in the trailer it only has 3 for Fantastic Four?
Correct.
No,
But-
I'm saying in this film in Thunderbolts in the
No,
end credit
it's
scene,
4.
I only remember seeing
It's
3.
4 prongs.
But I could be remembering
Because
the
it
trailer.
turns.
Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
As it turns, it's basically like the Eiffel Tower essentially, but the
Okay.
sides are inverted,
Okay.
and that we see the 4. But
Okay.
there's 4 points,
Yes.
and in the trailer it's 3.
Okay.
So I think that's a different ship. That's the ship they use to leave their reality, and that's probably has like that's their interdimensional ship to be able to jump through reality.
Yes. Okay.
And I think in that ship is the Fantastic Four, and Valeria and Franklin Richards. I think all 6 of them.
Who's Valeria?
Their daughter,
Whose daughter?
Mr. Fantastic, and
I thought they're having Franklin Richards.
I think Franklin might be born already. Oh no,
No, it's Franklin Richards that they're born with. Isn't that what he's even credited in the movie? The
Who
character, Franklin Richards.
right? But you don't think?
They're not gonna have 2 kids in this movie.
I think they will.
What?
I think that's
Let us know what you guys think. If you're on his theory or mine, I think it's Franklin.
because Valeria Richards would play perfect with the Doom story, because Doom helps her give birth to Valeria, and it's Richard's child, and then he like takes Valeria and like takes her under her wing.
Okay.
So that would fit perfect with this whole Doom
Do
series.
you remember the post that you sent me of the Funkos coming out, and it has Sue Storm with the baby? Do you know what the name of the baby was in the Funko?
I don't.
Okay, because I was wondering if it says it there. If it was with Franklin, you know what I mean? Like kind of how. Oh, it's over there with Wolverine with baby pool. Like it says it there. I don't know. We'll see. I thought you were gonna tell me it was going to be a. Because I saw one video that one of the fellow nerd was saying that he thinks it's Doom in that ship, and that's what's gonna play in. He's gonna come to this dimension, and they're gonna think that that's our Tony Stark, and he's gonna take that role and then use Tony's tech. And I'm like, that's an interesting theory, but I didn't. He lost me because here Tony Stark's dead, and everyone knows that he's dead here.
Yeah.
So, and then he commented back saying something about like, He had an answer to that, but I'm like, I don't think that they'll go that route.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So if it's obviously everyone knows he's dead, but he's coming for Stark Tech. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
it's this new variant.
No, that I
coming
buy.
for Stark Tech, and everyone's gonna be like, "What, Tony? What are you doing?" And I think he'll play it off as if he's like, "No, I came from the past" or whatever bullshit. You know what I mean? He's gonna do some type of.
Oh, I think he said that they faked his death or something like that. I think that's what the guy said. I can pull it up, but yeah, his comment says something to that, like, "Oh, they faked his death" or something. It's a way to say, like, didn't we hear news that RDJ is playing 4 different characters in Doomsday?
Yeah,
or multiple characters, which explains the paycheck he got for this film.
Yeah, and the motion caption dots that he has in his face in this last post he put up.
Okay.
Is it motion caption for like scars because Doom's messed up?
Yeah.
Or is it de-aging because he's gonna play a younger version of himself? Will there be flashbacks?
Just a way to to age him more to play Doom, like an older Doom or something. Yeah.
I think he figured out, and this is me just being the nerd and wanting the story to come back. Mm-hmm. I think he figured out time travel too quickly.
In Endgame?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he figured something out about the future.
Okay.
And he left a safe, because they're saying that Tony's death is directly tied to this Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I heard that where he was supposed to be. I forgot what the guy's name is.
The Russo brothers? The Russo brothers are saying that Tony's death is part of this Doom
story. Yeah.
It's continued.
It has to do with this Doom story.
He was supposed to die that time because if he lived, it would have been like the guy from Loki, the one that had a whole bunch of him all over in the stadium. What was his name?
Oh, Kang?
Yeah, he was supposed to be kind of like him.
Yeah.
If he didn't die. If he was to live, it would have been like
that more variants. So like the superior the superior Iron Man, that one he's actually a dick and an asshole. Like he's the one with the white suit, the one they wanted Tom Cruise to play in.
Well, that's the same thing, isn't it?
What?
Dick and asshole, aren't those like synonyms?
Yeah, but like he's like borderline evil.
Okay.
Like he's using his power for his own advantage. He's not much a hero.
So like if he didn't have the epiphany in Iron Man 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And he's probably a villain.
So basically that story, but if he turned into Obadiah.
Probably. Basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I follow you.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by turns into Kang, or like he's supposed to end up like Kang with all those variants and then wanted to take over everything?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It checks out. You know what I mean?
But how would he have seen that? Because Doctor Strange is the one that went into all the possible futures.
That's why he saw one of those futures like that.
You're saying Tony Stark did?
Yeah.
No. Strange. He
saw,
like, you know how when he was going through all these
universes or multiverses, yeah. Or no, alternate timelines, sorry.
The only one that worked was for him dying, because if the one that did work with him living, it would have been like chaotic.
Yeah.
And that also makes sense to why Strange would tell him that you only won one. Like 14 million something in Avengers only won once. Like I always found that sus. Like, dude.
Well, there's a lot of people that saying that Strange chose the least problematic
future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was directly due to Tony sacrificing his life for the greater good, so that way the universe can have a more mellowed future. Like there's always going to be issues, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was the best way for him.
The least devastating future.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
So
interesting. I did not hear that. That's a cool theory.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the point that you were gonna make?
I'm just adding more to it.
To that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's see.
Well, I heard also about the Fantastic Four ship that it's not actually the Fantastic Four, that it's Doom.
Yeah, some people are saying
that's
it could
that's
be
what I was
Doom.
talking about. That's what I was saying that the
And that's
that
very
other nerd
capable.
was talking about.
It could be. That's how we got on the topic of Tony Stark. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. That could be a very honest reality of what's going to happen. But I think we're going to see Valeria too. I think we'll see Franklin and Valeria.
We shall see.
Valeria actually sees Doctor Doom as Uncle Doom
Yeah.
in the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Nice. Okay. Well, that makes sense
Do you
because
think she'll turn evil?
No. I don't think so. Unless he has Valeria that was...
Because in the
that sounds
comics,
like you're saying he has a
comics, that
disease.
he has like a.
Unless he has malaria.
That's horrible.
In the
And he
comics,
gets diagnosed early,
It
he can
said
catch
that
it.
that Doom put like a spell on her.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's why she's always
'Cause,
with
yeah, Doom-
him.
He does have mystic powers.
Yeah,
so that
So
makes
that's
sense.
Mystic
why
arts,
maybe she does turn evil.
Maybe it's John Krasinski's Valeria that he has with her. And maybe it's John Krasinski's ship. That's why there's 4 prongs instead of the 3.
Or is his name Ian McKellen? No, that's fucking Magneto.
Yeah.
What's the actor's name? Can you look up the actor's name of the original Fantastic Four films, please? I know it's like a
What's the name? What?
of the actor.
Of Doom?
No, of the
Reed?
of the Reed Richards in the first with the films with Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
Because I know it's an odd spelling name. I think. Well, at least odd to us Americans, not to where he's from. I'm sure, but so you think it's a multiverse Reeds? That's
It could be.
Valeria. Okay.
Or it could be a council of Reeds on this ship or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it could. There's so much that can happen with this.
I don't see it going that route. I think especially so you can't forget when this film came out and what's the next big project. It's Fantastic Four. I think they did that to tie in directly into Fantastic Four. So it's going to deal with one of those characters that we see. I think it's either the Fantastic Four that we're going to see in that film or it's Doom on that ship. You know what I mean? And he used their ship.
Is it Eon?
And then that's
I was saying, I'm like, how do you
Ian.
say that? It's like lone, but with an I.
It's IOAN.
see, I knew it was an odd spelling, and I knew it was, that's why I said Ian.
Gruffin.
Yeah, Ion.
Grufford.
Okay.
Ion.
I know they said it before, and I don't think they pronounced it Ian. That's why, or maybe they did, and that's why I thought of Ian McKellen. It's something like that. But either way, or it could be his daughter Valeria that he takes.
Yeah, one of them.
But like,
Well, no. The only reason why I said John Krasinski's because he says
that he has kids with Sue. He said kids.
kids.
But it is Reed's.
No, we're saying that he's saying which actor
Reed?
portrayal of Reed Richards
Yeah,
it is.
John Krasinski's Reed or Pedro Pascal's or this Reed.
Well, no, I don't think he says he has kids. Scarlet Witch asked him, "Do you have kids?" And he says yes.
Yeah, 2 of them.
He does say 2 of them.
I think he says 2.
I don't recall that.
But it's kids plural is what he responds.
Right, because
So-
she says kids. Do you have kids? And then, yeah, and then I think that was the line where like, okay, well, good, they won't be parentless or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she fucking spaghettis him. Yeah. All right, but like I said, my point is, I don't think it's anyone other than who's in this Fantastic Four First Steps coming out because it was released. This Thunderbolts movie and the end credit scene was released right before this film's coming out next or in 2 months, July or June? July, right?
July.
July 4th, isn't it?
No.
Now, how did they not release it on a 4? You know what I mean? Like
4th
on the
isn't-
4th, it's Fantastic Four. How are you not releasing it on the fucking 4th of July? But that's a different story.
Well, I think it's because
Of Independence Day.
it comes out
No,
the
they
20
released the movie on
It
Christmas.
comes out the 25th of July.
How do you not release that on the 4th?
Because I think Superman already had the date. Superman's coming out
I mean,
the 11th.
so many. Yeah, okay. How many projects did Marvel release right after DC dropped? I think like Wonder Woman 84. Didn't they release a movie right after that release? Or no,
Okay.
they released a trailer or something like that. Marvel's always released projects or something right after DC is
right.
something.
And I don't disagree with you, but James Gunn wasn't in charge, and I think Kevin wouldn't do that to James.
Fair point. Very fair point. But still, I think it's a missed opportunity.
July 4th weekend, it's Jurassic World Rebirth.
Okay.
That comes out on the 2nd, and the 4th is a Sunday.
So where is your thinking that they don't want to compete with Jurassic Park?
I think that isn't it. Don't they own that? Or no, they don't own that. No, they don't.
That's Warner Brothers,
Yeah.
I believe.
Universal.
Okay, Universal. Oh, sweet. So that's gonna come out on Peacock and only in Peacock.
Oh.
That Jurassic World. Anyway, but yeah. So my whole thing is, I think that it's gonna be one of those people, either Fantastic Four or Doom. I don't think it's gonna be any other people besides that because of it leading right before that movie comes out. It
could be, like I said, the Council of Reeds, but I really think it's going to be Pedro Pascal, his whole team, and both children. I think we're going to see Valeria very young, and Franklin, and Franklin's going to be the one that Doom is coming for, because Franklin can rewrite, similar to Chaos Magic and how she can rewrite reality, but she can rewrite the reality that exists. Franklin Richards can create a reality out of nothing.
Yeah.
He can create a whole other pocket reality or a new dimension.
Her powers are similar to Scarlet Witch then, where she can just read.
No. Franklin's.
No, I'm talking about, you said Valeria. She can.
No.
Or who are you talking about?
I'm talking about Scarlet Witch and
Frank. I'm sorry. I misheard you or
I forgot what her
you.
power set is.
Okay.
It's not as OP as Franklin.
Okay.
But Franklin's he's an Omega level mutant.
Yeah.
And I think that makes sense why Wanda isn't technically considered Omega, because I think
Franklin
has her beat, but hers derives from chaos magic, versus his is mutation with his father's and mother's enhancement of that cosmic storm or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like a supercharged mutant. But yeah, so he can create anything. He can make this iPhone, the iPhone 25.
Oh shit!
And it doesn't even exist yet. You know what I mean?
Just make an iPhone separate by itself, just from thin air. Yeah,
exactly. Versus her, she can alter it and enhance things and rewrite it, but she can't. He writes on a blank page. She just rearranges the page. Yeah, essentially. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the biggest difference between their powers. But I think Doom is going to use Franklin's powers. He's going to try to use Scarlet's powers to create Battleworld, but there's going to be some break in the fabric of reality there, and he's going to look for, through this relationship with Valeria, to convince Franklin to rewrite.
That would be just a bad use of his powers if he's just creating new iPhones. I think you got to do something better with your powers.
Yes, he's not going to create new iPhones, bro.
No, but I think it's either Fantastic Four leaving because they know that universe is going to die.
Or
it died and, that's their way out. Or Doom escapes to this universe and that's them. That's their way to get here is because they're chasing him. Mm-hmm. Trying to stop whatever plan he has coming here. Yeah. Those are my thinkings for it. But let us know whose theory you guys are more behind in the comments. Do you have anything else for the movie?
No, bro, that's it.
So we are definitely excited for Fantastic Four coming out, for sure, as you can tell from this conversation. But next up, we have Last of Us reviews.
Yeah.
This series is fucking phenomenal so far.
God. This last episode had me in tears.
Yeah, I didn't get this. So did they drop 2?
No, I don't know what you're talking
about. Did we miss a week?
Did you not watch last week?
No, we watched the episode before, and I didn't think that we missed a week. Because we went to go watch. I'm like, oh, there's 2 episodes, and I'm like, I thought we watched.
No, I checked them.
The second one. No, I know. Everything. That's what I'm saying. I thought we watched the second one, but it didn't show that we previously watched it. I'm like, what the hell?
But maybe you watched it in the wrong account.
No, because I only ever watch it off my account. But yeah, so that's coming up. We are going to be bringing those episodes to you all very soon. So please catch up on those episodes. So that's going to do it for us today. And Kike, even in the void, I'm with you.
To the end of the line.
Thanks.
If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Also hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all our new episodes and more.